Amari, what do you see when you look at that Atlanta defense?
Yeah, I mean, they got some good DBs who will be going up facing against. They got Casey, who's a veteran, real instinctive player, has played a long time in the league. So, ain't no defensive backs gonna be playing that long who don't make plays. So, definitely somebody I'm excited about going up against. And then they got a young player AJ on the other side who's been making a lot of plays. So, you know, it's just gonna be a challenge for us.
You must have had some battles with Haywood back in the AFC West.
Yeah, I played against him, twice a year when he was at the Chargers. So yeah, he's a real competitive player who's been making a lot of plays over his course of time in the league. So,
Do you get a book against a guy like that? Or, I'm sure he knows you as well as you know him, but do you feel like you have a little bit on him?
yeah, I mean, when you go against a guy more than once or twice, you get a feel for how they play because they don't really deviate from who they are. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's always room for improvement, and players do get better, and so that's why you continue to study them. But for the most part, they're pretty much who they are.
Amari, you've talked about the connection that you have been developing with Jacoby and how you guys communicate well, and it's obviously translating onto the field. So can you just talk about, what does Jacoby do well, and why do you think you guys are connecting so well right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good leader. He takes command of the offense. He prepares well. He communicates extremely well throughout the course of the week. Just wanting clear understanding of, how I look at some things, and he gives me clear understanding of how he looks at some things in regards to the routes that we have in and stuff like that. So, I mean, he really goes about his business the right way in terms of preparation.
Do you kind of, not laugh, but do you raise your eyebrows a little bit when people just consider him to be a game manager, and do you feel like he's a lot more than that?
Nah, because I haven't really heard anybody call him that. So,
When you were with Cordero and with the Raiders, did you know he could potentially be a top running back in this league?
yeah, I mean, that's one of his best traits, him having the ball in his hands. Like when he was at receiver, it was always, try to get him screens and stuff like that, try to get the ball in his hands as quickly as possible so he could do something after the catch. And that's how he's always been since, I've been watching him since junior college because one of my teammates at Bama, he used to play against him when they were both in junior college. I think Cordell was like the number one receiver, and my teammate was like the number one corner in JUCO. So he put me on the Cordell when I was a young player, and I've been watching him ever since. And that's one thing that stuck with him. Like when he gets the ball in his hands, he's gonna make plays. So, I mean, obviously when you're at running back, you ain't getting the ball no quicker than that. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I mean, he's an exciting player to watch for sure.
It's going to be a big transition. I mean, you take a lot. I think it feels like you take more hits, right? You get the ball more.
Yeah, but he's not small. He's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Do you have the urge to make that transition to the backfield?
And that was supposed to be my first position, but
Where? College or high school?
no, like my very first position playing football. But it's a long story.
What, you can't get into it?
Huh?
Can you give us a condensed version?
Say it again. I'm
A
sorry.
condensed version of how you almost were a running back?
I mean, like before I started playing organized football, I used to play running back at my after-school program. But then when I started playing organized football, my coach's son played running back, so I couldn't.
There's an alternative timeline where you're a NFL running back.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
you don't sound like you were happy about it.
I digress.
I mean, you've always been confident in Jacoby since we've talked to you before the season, but do you see his confidence growing at all? The fact that he's had the success he's had the last couple of weeks?
I mean, obviously, when you play well, your confidence does grow. But I can't say that I get a sense that he didn't know he'd be playing good football. You know what I mean? Like he's always been a confident player. Has had a confident approach. So no, I can't really say I've seen a change in his confidence, but because he's always been confident,
I don't think you've ever played with a running attack like this, like we have here. What is it do for you as the number one receiver on the team to see Chevin Hunt out there destroying defenses?
Yeah, I mean, they make my job easier. They make it a lot easier. I mean, in many ways, you know, those guys move the chains so much that it just gives us out wide more opportunities to make plays, like when our name is called. Because I mean, we're out there for more plays, and then obviously the defense after a while, even if they don't come into the game, like honed in on the run game, eventually those with how hard those guys run, the defense has to change at some point and make stopping the run a focal point, and just opens up things outside for us.